Hey y'all, it's Tim Miller from The Bulwark. I'm here with Sam Stein. It's the Saturday after Thanksgiving, and if it's possible, we have the weirdest, most insane story yet from the Trump transition. Something I've never seen before. The Real House husband of Mar-a-Lago, Pete Hegseth, had a leak.
Did you workshop that? That was pretty good.
I've been thinking about it. I've been a lot of alone time over the last few days. He had an email that his mother had sent to him leak. That is one of the nastiest emails I've ever seen. A mother send their child. You've been in politics for a while. Have you ever seen a mother's email leak?
I thought this was gonna go differently. I thought you were gonna say you're Jewish. You have guilty moms, guilty mom emails. Have you ever seen anything like this?
Both questions. Both questions. I asked the one I asked you and the one you asked
your
yourself.
original question. No, I've never seen a mother's email leak let alone in a confirmation process for a cabinet position. But this is new turf for me, at least. And then in terms of the guilt trippy mother emails, like, I've gotten my fair share. Look,
hey,
who hasn't? But not in this variety and not on this scale.
Not me.
Thank God. This is. If I ever got an email like this, I probably would, bury myself in shame. But go ahead.
Yeah, I can't say that I've received a lot of stern remarks from my mother.
Mostly like, call your brother. Call your brother. Call your brother.
Let's read the email. I won't do a voice. I don't think Mrs. Hegseth is Jewish, actually. So I will not do a Jewish mother voice. I'm just going to read this email in full because I think it's important for everybody to see all of it. Here we go. It begins, son, comma.
You know it's bad when it begins like that.
It's son, comma.
Not dear Pete.
And just for context, for the timing of when this email comes, it comes after his first marriage fell apart because he slept with someone that he was working with. Right. After his second marriage fell apart because he slept with someone he was working with.
In the second marriage, he had 3 kids with the wife. So that's also context here. He had 3 children.
So this is after the second marriage. This is Samantha. She's referenced. So after that second marriage falls apart because he has a love child with someone that he works with. This also comes 5 months after the police report that we've been discussing, where there's a woman that accuses Pete of rape, of sexual assault, whereas he says it was just a consensual affair that he was having in between his second and third marriages while his love child was still a newborn, after he was drunkenly screaming at a hotel staffer. So that's where this kind of email falls in his timeline. Son, I have tried to keep quiet about your character and behavior, but after listening to the way you made Samantha feel today, I cannot stay silent. As a woman and your mother, I feel I must speak out. You are an abuser of women. This is the ugly truth. I have no respect for any man that belittles, lies, cheats, sleeps around, and uses women for his own power and ego. You are that man and have been for years. And as your mother, it pains me and embarrasses me to say that, but it's the sad, sad truth. Okay, this email goes on quite a bit from there, and I'm going to continue. But do you have any initial thoughts? Strong opening.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's one. Let's just be real. It's like incredibly sad that to watch this spectacle unfold. It is like it's like kind of painful. 2, I wonder, like, you've got to think, like, what it took for a mom to send that email is like extraordinary, right? Like, that's not an email you sort of dash off because you've had one too many, Brandy Alexanders. And it's like you crafted this one several times, put it back in the draft folder, thought about sending it, and then when you click send, you're like, ooh, I just kind of torched our relationship there.
Yeah. You're an abuser of women.
That's a tough line. Yeah.
She goes on. I'm not a saint, far from it, so don't throw that in my face, but your abuse, she used the word again, over the years to women, dishonesty, sleeping around, betrayal, debasing, belittling, needs to be called out. Samantha again, is a good mother and a good person, parentheses, under the circumstances you created. I think that is referencing again to recall that Samantha is the second wife who he was working with. And I know deep down you know that. For you to try to label her as unstable for your own advantage is despicable and abusive. Is there any sense of decency left in you? She did not ask for or deserve any of what has come to her by your hand. Neither did Meredith. It's a reference to the first wife. I know you think this is one big competition and that we have taken her side. Bunk. We are on the side of good, and that is not you. Go ahead and call me self-righteous. I don't care. I mean, that line kind of gets lost in the abuser line. But
Right.
I mean, like, this is his own mother being like, "You're a bad person."
Yeah, we've taken the side of good, and it is not you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, it goes on a little bit where she tries to maintain the relationship. It ends with, "And yes, we are praying for you," parentheses, "and you don't deserve to know how we are praying, so skip the snarky reply." Clearly, there's also some religious tension in the household. "I don't want an answer to this. I don't want to debate you. You twist and abuse everything I say anyway. But on behalf of all the women," parentheses, "and I know it's many, you have abused in some way, get some help and take an honest look at yourself, Mom." Whoa. Whoa.
That's rough.
I mean, again, I'm trying to like contemplate some context for this. I mean, I was not a great teenager, Sam. I gotta tell you.
This is not teenage years, man.
Yeah, I know.
Like, this is like adulthood.
He's 40. He's 39 or 40 when this email is sent.
It's rough. I mean, again, part of me is like, wow, this is just so deeply personal and family oriented. Obviously, there's a lot going on here, and every family has problems. Like, let's just be real, except for mine. Mine's perfect. Yeah. On the flip side, though, it's like if you needed a character witness, I think Mom's high up there, like maybe the highest. And for her to pen this and say you're just not a good person is. I mean, look, none of this matters, right? Like, I think.
I mean, it does.
Maybe it does.
It sounds a little tougher for the senators to be like, "I'm sorry, I'm not going to respond to the fake news accusations." It's like it's not the fake news accusations; it's the mother.
And I think it's worth noting in the write-up of this. Okay, let's back away from it. So the Times reports this letter. They are explicit that the person who leaked it is neither Sam nor the mom.
Yeah.
But someone who's a friend of the family. So obviously this email had kind of circulated a bit wider.
The Times also reported in that, because I had this question as well, that the mother had forwarded the email to the second wife at some point, right, in the past, right? And so you have to figure that kind of is
the leak came from around there. The Times also quoted the mom saying she actually regretted the email and sent a follow-up email, and yet notably the mom did not produce a follow-up email that she said she had sent apologizing for original email, which suggests that may not actually
The Times
exist.
Asked for it.
Yeah.
And she
didn't
to send it.
You would think she would provide that one if, whatever. Anyways, this is just like, this is sort of uncharted territory. I don't know how you even, I mean, he's trying to be defense secretary. It's difficult to see them saying, well, your mom thinks you're a bad person. Ergo, you can't do this position. On the flip side, though, it is like the most ultimate character witness possible.
Yeah.
And he's clearly failed it. And I wonder how senators take that into consideration.
Yeah, and it also, I mean, I guess this isn't a great example because Donald Trump survived this, but it also is in the mold of the, grab her by the you-know-what tape, where it's like, this is Trump in his own. In that case, it was Trump in his own words, like admitting to what all these women had accused him of doing.
Exactly.
In this case, it's like the mother admitting what Pete has been as alleged for. Not rape, but like that he abuses women. It's like the mother saying, "Yeah."
Right. At this point, we can't be like, again, to your point, we can't be like, "Oh, this is fake news. This is like some sort of liberal, smear of Pete Hegseth." It's his mom, and you can't at this juncture. It's like, so we've cleared that hurdle, right? Like, I don't think they're going to like say this is all concocted. Obviously. At some point, evidence is evidence. They're not going to say
it's also not that long ago. I mean, this is all happening during the Biden. I'm sorry, during the Trump presidency. This is all happening during the first Trump presidency. The email sent in 2018. So it's like, again, I guess you could say that you've turned a leaf over the last 5 years. But then again,
it's 5 years.
It's 5 years, and all you've been is a weekend co-anchor on a weekend morning talk show. Like, it's not, it's not like you spent those 5 years.
But it's also because, and then subsequently is this whole episode at the hotel, which suggests that the behavior continued and you haven't really reformed yourself. Again, though, I keep coming back. Like, do you think there's like senators who are going to be like, wow, like, I don't know. It's not like he's running for defense secretary. It's not, I don't know. I just have a tough time seeing a lot. Although I will say, there was another story where Joni Ernst, who is a survivor of sexual assault, and was sort of non-committal about Hegseth, but I just don't see it. I honestly don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends what else comes out. Again, look, Bill Clinton had these accusations, Trump did. survive, right? Those are both going to voters, not senators. Plenty of cabinet members have had icky personal lives. To me, the thing is like, this is the most absurd choice for the cabinet, and certainly in the last 100 years. Who knows? Maybe Andrew Johnson.
100 years.
Certainly, I mean, like certainly. Who
don't
else
have
would
that
even be on the
knowledge.
list? They put a TV show host in charge of the military, and it's a preposterous selection on the merits, right?
Yeah.
So again, like if it was like Trump picked his favorite general to run, the Defense Department, and they had been, running the European Command and had all these great reviews, but also like had
Mom
a love
sent an
child and
email.
was like the mom was mad at the way that he treated his wife. Okay,
right,
probably
right.
offset, right? Like, or if it was, somebody that had this decorated, like, as a reformer, an administrator, who's
Okay, I see
demonstrated,
where you're going with this.
like,
Yeah.
like this person is a clown. Like this person is a total clown. It's a preposterous
So
choice.
the issue
and
here
on
is
top
not
of it-
necessarily, the issue here is not necessarily, although it is somewhat, the treatment of women. It's that he's a child and he can't really be a grown up.
Yes, he's a child,
Yeah.
and he's supposed to be in charge of 3 million people. He's supposed to be in charge of a lot of women, 1 million probably. I guess we should look into exactly how many women work for DoD.
There is something deeply unserious about this and troubling, and I think that's where this actually does hurt. It's like, look, your mom doesn't think you're a serious person. Like,
Right.
why should 3-star generals think you're a serious person?
Yeah. And you don't want women to serve in the military. And at every job you've
that's the
had,
other
you've
thing.
slept with
Yeah.
someone that you worked with as an underling, and it ended up horribly.
And so that's where I think this actually could matter. It's not just the treatment of women; it's his view of women writ large. And this whole shtick of, oh man, the men in the military can't be men because women are fighting against them. It's like, actually, bud, like you have a kind of a toxic view of women, and we know this because your mom emailed you and said you do. So like maybe you should rethink your view of women in the military. Maybe the problem isn't them. Maybe the problem's you. And I think that could be, I guess, yeah, okay. You've talked me into a little bit of it. Yeah, that could be an issue.
I think it
and
makes
I
it
think
interesting.
I think it's a fairly effective look. If I were an oppositional senator, I would question him not on like mom's email. I'd say, why do you view women so like atrociously? Like, what is that about? Like, clearly you have an issue with women. Can you like explain that to me?
Yeah.
And see where he goes with that.
Also, just one more thing on the year. The
Yeah.
Times story also looks into some of the divorce records between Pete and Samantha Hegseth. And in 2020, the court-appointed consultant said she wanted to see an action plan from Pete regarding cessation of hostile and degrading communication to and about Sam.
Lovely. Yeah.
So again, 2020 now.
This
We're
is
moving
not
into the
like ancient history. This is we were
This is during the
fairly-
Biden campaign, Biden-Trump campaign.
We were living in it, yeah.
So
Jesus,
anyway,
Pete.
all right. Well, it's hey, look. Anytime one of Trump's cabinet members' mothers sends in a nasty girl about how
We're
they're
gonna
an abuser,
YouTube it.
We're
Yeah.
gonna do it.